Absolutely right, Terry, especially when that phone starts ringing and the voice on the other end wants to know exactly when you're going to pay up. Sound familiar? But you know, you really got to take charge, especially when those friendly reminders turn out to be not so friendly.
Hello?
Miss Baker?
Oh, not you again.
Yes, it's me again. It's Deborah from the Collections Agency. You told me last Friday that I would receive a check.
What could be worse? You're relaxing at home when the phone rings, and on the other end is a bill collector whose one goal is to get you to pay up any way they can.
Now, most of the time, these companies act very professional when they're trying to collect on an overdue bill. But when it takes you too long to pay off the balance on that bill, they'll often employ an outside collection agency. And some of these agencies use a variety of intimidation and sometimes illegal tactics that can make just picking up the telephone a living nightmare.
I will leave you alone the moment you pay your bill. Are you going to pay us today? Because if not, I'm going to call tomorrow, and then I'm going to call the next day, and if you don't pay then, I'm going to get someone after you. Is that what you want?
Don't give me your attitude, because I don't get paid to listen to your attitude. I get paid to get this money in here.
Many collectors operate on a contingent fee relationship. That means they only get a percentage of what they're able to collect. So if they collect nothing, they end up with no profit. Therefore, economic incentives push them to go beyond the line. Otherwise, they're going to be out of business.
I'll talk to you any way I want. You owe us the money. Okay? You owe us the money. I don't owe you anything.
Now, all these examples have been dramatizations, but incredibly enough, some collection agencies routinely treat their targets just like that and worse. One collection agency in Texas went so far as to harass a woman with death threats.
There's a difference between perhaps owing a debt and being subject to this kind of abuse. There are many good collection agencies that do comply with the law. It is those agencies that do not that give the industry a bad name.
Attorney John Roddy represented the woman you're about to meet, who claimed in court papers that she was victimized by an abusive bill collector. You won't believe what she said happened to her.
He swore at me, he yelled at me, he called me all kinds of names, and the constant telephone calls were driving us crazy. I mean, you never knew when you were going to get a phone call from this man. And he would never get off the phone. He would stay on the phone for 15, 20 minutes, and he would harass me verbally the whole time. And I just got to the point where I hung up on him.
But some bill collectors just don't care. They just want their money, and they're not above making illegal threats to get it.
Basically, the law prohibits any kind of unfair, deceptive, abusive, or harassing conduct in trying to collect a debt. For example, telling you that you're subject to criminal prosecution, saying that you're going to have your wages garnished, saying that your house is going to be attached, and they can't do that. Most people are completely unaware that not only do they have rights under the federal law to stop debt collection abuse, but they can actually recover money damages from the collectors who are abusing them.
So what can you do if you're being harassed by an abusive bill collector? Well, first, find out who the collector is. Get their name, what the debt is about, and write everything down. Second, in writing, ask for proof that you actually owe the debt. The agency can take no further action until you get that proof. Next, federal law says collection agents can't call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. And they can't call you at work if you ask them not to. Now, if you want the collection agency to stop contacting you, simply write them a letter saying so. After they get the letter, the agency is only allowed to contact you once more to tell you what legal action they intend to take. And finally, don't forget you have the right to sue an abusive bill collection agency if they step over the line. That's something Harriet's glad she did to deal with her abusive bill collector.
They're absolutely disgusting. They treated me as if I was a second-class citizen who had absolutely no rights in the world at all.
Now, according to Harriet's lawyer, this kind of a case is very common. In fact, there are some lawyers who do nothing but represent people who've been victimized by abusive bill collectors. Oh, and by the way, not only did Harriet sue the people who were harassing her, but she also won a cash settlement. So keep that in mind the next time she steps over the line with you, because, hey, you've got rights too.